The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRCMedia, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
This week on FRCmedia News, it's full steam ahead on the new Diman construction project. Residents will get to weigh in on what qualities will make a good school superintendent, and a monument was unveiled to honor a husband and wife who left an indelible mark on local youth sports in the Flint. All this and more coming up. It's Thursday, April 18th, 2024. This is FRC Media News. I'm Keith Tebow. Ground was broken in November on constructing a new Diman Regional Vocational Technical High School on Stonehaven Road. Thus far, the project has progressed as expected. Diman Superintendent Director Brian Bentley says since late last year, construction crews have been focusing on earthwork at the site of the school's former athletic fields.
If anyone were to come to Diman and look at the construction site, they'll be able to see the massive holes in the ground where the foundation will be, the piles of dirt that are out there. What they're actually doing is taking out the top dirt that is there. They excavate it and they put it off into an area, and then they grind it up and they mix it, then get it back into the ground to compact it to make the base for a foundation. So right now they're moving a lot of dirt. It looks like a lot of dirt from one side to the other, but they actually have a very unique game plan with their earthwork, where they're starting at this construction will start at the north end of our football field, what was our football field, and then progress towards the south. For those of you on the road going by on Locust Street, that would be the closest to Locust Street is where they're going to start the construction, and it will end down towards where you see the water towers behind our property. Every Friday, we have an owner-architect construction meeting here at Diman, and where we get a status report of what has been done, what is there still to do, and are they or are they not on target. As of this past Friday, which was April the 12th, I believe, they are on target, actually a little ahead of schedule, and under budget, which is always good to hear those two words together. And very shortly, you should start. It should be visible where some construction, concrete's going to take place, steel's going to be put in place, and that is coming up within the next 6 months.
Mr. Bentley says he has received complaints from local neighbors since the start of the project, but guidelines are in place to minimize the impact within the neighborhood.
Neighbors should be curious as to what's happening in their backyard. They were here, everything was nice and quiet. We had the school, they knew the school noise, the school traffic. Now there's construction, and that is a concern that I have personally and the Diman community has with our neighbors. I have had some calls that have come in and emails that have come in. I answer them, I call them back. And it's everything from preserving the trees that they do see being taken out of the ground because it does have an impact on the environment, to the noise. The first happened on Locust Street because that's the only access that the construction vehicles had, was coming down Locust Street and turning onto the gate where our football field was. Now that they have built a new entrance off of Stonehaven Road, the major traffic does go Eastern Avenue, up Bedford Street, and turns immediately into our property, which is on the side of where the water department is. So the impact on the neighborhood has become much more routine. They understand it, and the heavy vehicles have not really come in just yet.
Diman has committed to the City of Fall River and the towns of Somerset, Swansea, and Westport to keep the project's budget under control in the face of rising costs due to inflation.
242 was what the building was voted through by the regional members, with an inflation factor going up to 293. Right now it's under that. We have had to cut out of that budget. Originally, it went way over that when the architect designed Diman, the new Diman. It was way out of that, and we had to value engineer, nice way of saying cut costs, $53 million out to get it back down to where the price should be. And we are holding that line right now. We've had some good deals that they're purchasing, the construction company is purchasing ahead of time. So when prices are low, they buy their steel, they buy their concrete ahead of time. The school is being very fiscally responsible. We're already starting to buy materials that will go and equipment that go inside the school. And we have managed to been able to get quite a few grants and purchase things now with a delivery that'll be coming up in about a year and a half.
Mr. Bentley says to keep the cost to taxpayers in line with initial projections, the new facility will have to do without some cosmetic enhancements.
The architect, when they develop a building and design a building, they want the best material possible. When that came up and we were 53 million over, we'd ask, what is alternative material? And that's what they started to provide us with. Simple things. Tile that's going to be on the floor, what kind of tile, and switching that out in order to have a durable tile, but not maybe the one that was suggested. That was value and engineer out. Tile on the walls, instead of having it all the way to the ceiling, can we get by with maybe partial or halfway up? Things like that were value engineered out. The biggest one, of course, was when they went to the heating system and the air conditioning something, the HVAC. We had wanted geothermal, and that was very expensive. And that had to be value engineered out too for various reasons, but that saved quite a bit of money.
The 4 cities and towns served by Diman are preparing to come up with their share of the construction cost. This year and next, communities have been charged the interest cost on the construction loans. Fall River paid roughly $600,000 this year and will be asked to pay $800,000 for FY 2025. The city will likely pay more in 2026. In 2027, the city will be on the hook to pay over $6 million annually for the next 30 years. Mr. Bentley says the amount communities will pay cannot be finalized at this time.
We have enough money that we have borrowed out to get us through November, December of 24. We know we will have to go back out for borrowing another $25 million because that'll be next for the next phases of this work, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. We cannot get any definitive answer on what exactly it's going to cost us on that $25 million, which means we cannot exactly tell the city of Fall River, Somerset, Swansea, Westport, what the inflation factor is going to be. We've had a meeting over in Swansea already, and we had to tell them that for this year coming up, your assessment is good. Next year, it's probably going to rise a little. The year after, that's when everything is going to hit, because then the full force of what we have borrowed out and what we owe back is going to start taking place, which means that's their cost.
Mayor Paul Coogan said last week he's looking to ask the City Council to set a special election, asking voters to approve a debt exclusion to raise taxes to pay for the Diman construction. Voters in 2018 voted in favor of a similar exclusion to pay for the construction of the new BMC Durfee High School. Despite many unknowns, the project moves forward, and those within the Diman community are still excited about what lies ahead.
Everybody comes by every day, the faculty and staff, and they go, ooh, ah, ooh. I do believe that when we return to school after the summer break in August, when they start seeing the steel girders in place and they actually see the rising from the bottom up, that the building is starting to take shape, I think that's when the excitement really kicks in. Next year, the faculty at this time next year will be looking at what things from their shops and their academic classrooms are they taking with them to the new building. They will be responsible for tagging and pointing out what stays and what goes. And that'll be kind of like bittersweet. They know something new is coming, but in the meantime, they're having to discard something they've worked with for quite a few years.
Last week, we reported that the Fall River School Committee has begun its work on hiring a new superintendent of schools to replace Maria Ponce, who's set to retire on June 30th. This week, it was announced that along with a local screening committee, residents can lend their input by taking part in an online survey on what qualities they would like to see in a new superintendent.
The Massachusetts Association of School Committees recommending get as much feedback as you can from the community before you dive too far into this. So we worked with them to develop a little survey to make sure we asked everybody their opinion on the superintendent search. We put together an 11-member panel, which includes parents, students, staff across the district from elementary to central to high school, bilingual. We tried to cover as many of the bases as we could in this group. And applications are going in. They have till April 30th. So there'll be a pre-screening committee. And then the committee will turn it over to us. But as part of that pre-screening committee, we plan on looking at the questions and the comments to come in on the public survey to gauge if they're important enough to ask the candidates how they fit in with the vision the schools have. They've also polled the school committee members to ask them their priorities for the schools in the city of Fall River. So there's a lot of information gathering going on right now, and as we start the process, we'll see how it goes. I mean, applications close at the end of April, so there's still a few weeks to go.
Earth Day is this weekend, and the city is hosting a pair of cleanups to celebrate.
At Saturday, we'll be out here in Government Center at 10 o'clock. We'll take different sections of the city and do our best to remove as much litter as possible. And on Friday, Mike Labasia heads a crowd that does the industrial park. I think that kicks off about the same time in the morning, 10 o'clock. I'll be at both of them, hopefully. And, it's something good. It's positive. Last weekend, we did Cook Pond with Groundworks, and we did Pulaski Park with the Cub Scout troop. Again, when you go through those cleanups, both places are noticeably cleaner and look better. And it's kind of the pride we want people to take in the city.
The city has recently begun its street sweeping program for the season. Mayor Coogan says residents can play a role in making sure Fall River remains clean.
I was driving down the street yesterday, and there was a guy, I think it was on Bedford Street. He had his broom out and he was sweeping in front of his house. And I said, God, if everybody did that, this place would be spotless. It's just a mindset. Some people think, littering's okay, I guess, because they throw stuff out car windows and, when they're walking, they throw it on the sidewalk. It's just a different mindset. But if everybody took a little pride in their property, it would go a long way. I mean, obviously, we're chasing the big stuff. We had a mattress up on President Avenue. We had a desk down the south end, some tires at Cook Pond. People dump illegally, and we're doing our best to catch them also. So, I mean, a cleaner city, people take pride in it. People pitch in when we do cleanups. That would be great.
Spring and summer will also see the Fall River Water Department undertaking a number of seasonal upgrades. Paul Ferland, Director of Community Utilities, says the city will continue to move ahead on replacing lead service lines to city homes. Residents in focus areas will hear from the city soon, with the service completed free of charge.
If anybody gets a letter or a mailing or a phone call from the water department or one of our contractors, please contact them for an inspection. What we do, it's about a 10 or 15 minute process. We'll schedule an appointment, and we're doing them nights, weekends, anytime that's available for the, easy for the customer to allow us to come into their property. We go down into the basement where the water meter is, and we visually inspect what that material is. From there, we can determine if it's lead. Then we would want to get a consent form with you to be able to schedule a replacement. If not, if it's a different type of material, we update our inventory, and that way we have it on record what the material is.
Water main replacement projects are also on the docket, specifically when it comes to repaving streets where replacement work is complete.
One of the projects that we're finishing up from last year is the water main replacement and street reconstruction projects. We did a number of streets last year, which included President Avenue, Oak Grove Ave from Locust to Bedford, including Atlantic Boulevard, a lot of the side streets off of there, So those were fully completed last year. Streets were repaved, sidewalks, everything was done. Now we have to, finished all the water main replacement last year. Now we have some streets that we need to go back to and do the paving and sidewalks. Orchard and Merchant, Oak Grove Avenue from Locust all the way to New Boston Road. So you'll start to see the contractors out there getting going with some of that work here.
The Water Department is also conducting engineering studies on locations across the city that are susceptible to flooding during heavy rainstorms. One of those next on the list that has long been a problem is Stafford Square.
We have ARPA funding to start that. We also have a $2 million Mass Works grant. So over the next year and a half, I expect that we're going to have fully designed plans for Stafford Square to be able to minimize the flooding within that whole entire area. We do have a grant application in to FEMA through the BRIC program for about $32 million for the construction of that project. We have not received word whether that's approved or not, but we're very hopeful that we would be able to get funding, to be able to fix the flooding within that area that's plagued the city for probably 100+ years would be amazing.
We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Health and Safety Specialist. Amazon, located at 1180 Innovation Way, is looking for a full-time health and safety specialist, responsible for maintaining accurate daily, weekly, and monthly metrics to report to on-site management teams. Job number 207-07038. School bus driver. People Incorporated, located at 4 South Main Street, seeks a part-time certified school bus driver to operate and safely monitor a 29-passenger bus. Job number 207-07516. Bilingual Human Resource Generalist. Blount Fine Foods, located at 630 Current Road, is seeking a full-time bilingual human resource generalist to work with personnel at all levels, providing qualified candidates, a work environment, culture, and a team atmosphere. Job number 207-05429. ITM Personal Banker. Bank 5, located at 79 North Main Street, is looking for a part-time ITM Personal Banker. For more information, call 774-888-6100. The Stepping Stones Group, located at 657 Quarry Street, has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. Teletherapy speech-language pathologist. Job number 207-05141. School psychologist. Job number 207-05181. For more information about these or other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
My name is David Perry. I'm the president of the Greater Fall River Food Pantry. And what we do here is we provide food to clients that are in need. We're always trying to get more people involved in what we're doing, and we're trying to concentrate on youth, and it's all about helping people, and that's what we should all be doing, is helping someone. So it's a great opportunity for them to come down here and give us a couple of hours a week. It's not long, it's 2 hours a day, and once they start volunteering, it's like a family, it really is. So getting these younger people involved, it's just great. It's great to see. It's great to have younger generations seeing what's going on in the real world, as we call it, and helping out.
I've gotten a new outlook on the community. I've been able to see all sides, helped me learn just a lot about Fall River as a whole.
We like to get students in from 14 years of age and older. It's not about the Greater Fall River Community Food Pantry. It's about what the Greater Fall River Community Food Pantry does as an outreach. We want to reach out to the community. Most schools require that the students put in volunteer hours. we're a perfect example of receiving those students, and that way they get their hours accredited, and it gives them a good learning experience.
Volunteering here made you feel good, felt like you were helping out the community, and also it really helped me out with making my application stand out with having volunteer hours on them. Like when I'm applying for jobs, I've been on the hunt right now, and I've done a lot more interviews since I did charity work here. Makes you really stand out, and also just feels good helping out the community.
I love hearing other people's lives, how other people live, other people's families. It's interesting, and I really like to do this work.
Come down and see what it's like. Come down and take an opportunity to help someone else. Come and see what's really happening in the world out there.
Welcome back. If you grew up in the Flint neighborhood, you no doubt remember George Sneaker McDonald. Mr. McDonald had a distinguished and decorated 30-year career as a Fall River police officer, and with his wife Evelyn dedicated their time to serving the community by running the Junior Twilight Baseball League at Lafayette Park for over 60 years. Both George and Evelyn have passed on, but their memory lives following the dedication Monday of a monument in their honor just beside the Lafayette Park baseball diamond. Here's a recap of that dedication ceremony.
It's been 2.5 years in the making, but I think we waited for the perfect day. And I'm guessing that Sneaker might have had something to do with it. I'm just guessing. Sneaker and Evelyn were the unassuming, humble people. They did it not with an expectation to be seen or heard, acknowledged. So I always wondered how Sneaker would feel about this if he was still alive. And I came to the conclusion that Sneaker would be proud of it. And he would be proud of it for certain reasons. Number one, it brought all you here, his friends, his former ball players, umpires, coaches, all together on this great day. And that would make him happy. The other thing that would make him happy, and I think when this is unveiled and you see it, I think that he would think like me, that maybe someday somebody strolling through this park will come across this monument and be inspired by it and say, you know what? I think that I can start a baseball league here. I can resurrect a Junior Twilight League. And I think that would be very important to Sneaker, that someday there's another league here. Because that's what we need. So many people talk about bad Fall River. It's not bad at all. But we need to provide more. We grew up in a good era. We had people like Sneaker McDonald, ran this league with Evelyn. And we should be thanking them for 60 plus years.
He was Fall River through and through. From his 30 years on the police department and in '86 winning the Officer of the Year award, to think of this, 61 years running the Junior Twilight League. That's over 6 decades he and his wife committed to making sure kids had a place to go, someone that cared about them, and they were able to participate in a sport that taught them the life skills they'll need for the rest of their lives. This is a fitting tribute to this gentleman. Being out here where he loved it so much, it's gonna last for a very long time.
Sneaker and Evelyn left this world in a better place, having touched so many lives, and this memorial is a testament to that. Everywhere he went, he filled the world with kindness, one mint or candy at a time, dropping them off for tellers at Notre Dame Credit Union, or to my coworkers that he had never met when he dropped off something for me. He sent birthday cards, sympathy cards, encouragement cards, and thank you cards to everyone, a mix of handwritten and typed with his classic typewriter. Once you met Sneaker and Evelyn once, they were your friends for life, even if you didn't realize it at the time. I know that Sneaker is out there today, rake in hand, getting the field ready for the game today. There have been movies made about angels in the outfield, but they have nothing like we have in Fall River, who will forever have angels in Lafayette Park here at the George Sneaker McDonald and Evelyn McDonald Baseball Diamond.
He raked the field. He was 88 years old, raking the field in the morning, putting the lines down for the game. He was the first one. He put the lights on. He shut them off at the end of the night. He did everything. He was 88 years old. He was an umpire. He couldn't see. You would hear him say, "Sneaker, what are you, blind?" And he would say, "Only in one eye. My other eye's good." So he did everything he could for his lines, and it kept him going. When my Aunt Evelyn died, it also kept him going to have that purpose. And I think that's his legacy: the contribution, the service, the purpose through service to others. And he was the light in everyone's day. A positive story for everyone, a joke for everyone, kind words for everyone. And just kind and thoughtful. That he was not a rich man, but in the life that he lived, in the wonderful life that he had, the extraordinary life that he had, he was the richest man in town.
Following the dedication ceremony, the Durfee and Diman baseball teams faced each other, with the Bengals besting the Hilltoppers by a score of 7-0. We will wrap up this edition of FRC Media News after this.
Hi, welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we have Michelangelo. Michelangelo here, he is all black cat except for that one little spot in his chest. I like to joke that it's his on and off button, or maybe his reset button. He's a neutered boy, but he's a very nice boy. He does get along with other cats. He lived for a long time in one of our communal rooms. Yeah, he actually came to us as a surrender. The person that surrendered him said that they were moving. He tends to be very laid back. He likes to find a good spot to lay and sleep, but he also likes his attention too. He would do well with children as well, to be honest with you. And he doesn't need a super ton of attention. So, normal, everyday household. You go to work, you come home, that kind of stuff. That should be enough for him. You can come on down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts, at Forever Paws Animal Shelter, and who knows, maybe you've got the right home for him. We would love to see you. This week we have another Chow. This is Chow Mein, we've called him. He is a 3-year-old Chow Chow. His brother that we also have is very red. He's much more of a soft brown, like a light brown kind of color. Both of these guys, they were surrendered to us. They didn't come out of the greatest situation, but the person that surrendered them came to the realization that they weren't able to care for them well enough. They do great with people. Do great with other dogs. If you think that you might make a good home for these guys, please don't hesitate. Come on down to 300 Linwood Street here in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter. You can also go online. You can go to foreverpaws.com. If you still want to put in an application, by all means, send it in, and we'll look forward to seeing you.
That's all for this edition of FRC Media News. Please visit our website, frmedia.org, for all the latest news and local information. FRC Media News airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Thursday.